So, what is Prezi? It's an alternative presentation tool to PowerPoint. You could probably use it pretty much anywhere where you would use PowerPoint. It's really a case of what you think your audience would prefer and what seems more appropriate to the topic that you're presenting on or that you're teaching on. But the difference between PowerPoint and Prezi, one way of thinking of it is something that Paul Wigfield, our learning technologist, said to me, which is that Prezi is a bit like television. The way on a TV programme we zoom in and have a close-up on people and something that's going on, and then you zoom back out again to look at a bigger picture or a shift of location or something. That's kind of what it's like when you're presenting a Prezi. You're moving in and out of a subject and zooming in and out, and it kind of depends on whether you think that feels relevant and right to the topic. It allows you to go with the flow. The way you construct a Prezi is very much like a mind map. You just click and add an idea, and then all around that you can add ideas related to it. You can move to another area, add another idea down. You've got a huge kind of drawing area on which to write your Prezi down. So it's meant to encourage you to be kind of creative and free thinking and not to be trapped in the kind of linear structure that PowerPoint kind of imposes on you. It allows you to zoom in. Now I know Paul has presented on the Zoom It tool that does allow you to do zooming on anything, a PowerPoint presentation or anything, and that does work okay for showing the detail in a graph, but the way that Prezi does zooming is it just kind of flows and it's quite elegant and it just looks really good, and also it really preserves the quality of an image, so particularly in things like PDFs that we'll look at in a moment. Zooming on those is really effective. But it also means you can kind of hide content within other content. So for instance, I can hide that tiny word wow inside another word and then zoom into it. So if you're kind of going further and further deep down into the detail of a subject, using this zooming technology can be quite helpful. It encourages you to be creative in the way that you present. I think it gives you a different mindset when you're writing a presentation or coming up with the ideas for a presentation using Prezi. And you can add all different kinds of media to enhance your Prezi, so you can add audio and video and so on, and we're going to look at that in a moment. I also think it's very suited to recording, so if you were interested in providing a lecture or some kind of presentation online, then recording a Prezi using a resource like Screentoaster works really well. This is an example of a recorded Prezi that I recorded using Screentoaster, and then I've uploaded it to YouTube, so that's where this video is coming from. So you can go through your Prezi, talking over it if needs be, and then just record it and upload it online. So what can you use in your Prezi in terms of other media? Well, you can use Screengrabs. This is something that we use quite a lot in IR because we use Screengrabs from databases to demonstrate search histories, but there's all kinds of other applications for it. Here we've got a Screengrab that includes some graphs about ROC curves. Sometimes when you're using Screengrabs like this, particularly with tables or graphs in, depending on where you're presenting, the detail of them can be practically invisible to the people who are sat at the back of the lecture theatre. But because with Prezi you can zoom in, I can zoom in on my graph and move around. I'll zoom out a little bit if I want to, so people can see the detail and read it properly. You can use text documents. Again, for critical appraisal teaching, sometimes it's quite helpful using Prezi to upload a PDF of the paper we're appraising. Usually when we're sat together as a group, we're referring to points in the document, and again, being able to zoom in makes it quite easy for me to demonstrate to the students where in the document they need to look to find the bit about sample size calculation or whatever it might be. And particularly with PDFs, the image quality is so high in a PDF. With the zooming facility, you can just zoom and zoom and zoom, and you don't lose any quality. You can zoom until there's nothing left to see, basically. You can embed video into a Prezi presentation, and the easiest way to do that is if it's a YouTube video. Prezi Prezi has integrated functionality so that if you just simply paste in the URL of a YouTube video, it sets it up as a player, and once you put it into your Prezi, it will play automatically. So you can see that the video plays automatically. This is a YouTube video about how to do a Prezi, but obviously it doesn't matter what the video is about. If it's from YouTube, embedding it's easy. You can embed other kinds of videos, so something you've recorded yourself, but the easiest way is to embed a YouTube video. You can also embed audio. It's a little bit trickier to do this, but I worked it out without any help, and if I can, anybody can. So if there is an audio file or a podcast or something, a little bit of audio you want to integrate, again,
Olive, huh?
That's right.
it's very simple to do it.
Olive.
And it plays automatically. As soon as you go to that point in your presentation, the audio kicks in.
No sunlight, sometimes tempers fray.
And while you're presenting with the YouTube video or with the audio, you can still use the controls to control the video. So you can pause it and talk for a little bit and then press play again and carry on watching or listening. So how do you save your Prezi? Well, when you first go to the Prezi website, you need to set up a Prezi account, which is free, and all your Prezis are saved online in your free Prezi account. You get 100 megabytes of free online storage for your Prezis. As with most of these Web 2 tools that we're looking at in bite size, you can pay to upgrade. I think if you can prove that you work in an educational institution, you can have a Prezi Pro account for $59 a year, so it's not a huge amount of money, and that gives you 2 gig, which is a massive amount of storage space. But 100 megabytes is tons to store at least 50 presentations. You can also get a URL, you can get embed code or just a URL to add a link to any of your Prezis, so you can put them wherever you want to put them. I've put Prezis into Mole, you can put them into USpace and they'll play within USpace or within Mole. And if you want to, you can still download a Prezi, so you can save it on a USB stick, you can save it to your hard drive, you can save it to a network drive, to Dropbox, wherever you want to save it, so you can still have a real copy of it if you really want to. Now, it might look like it must be quite complicated to design and set up a Prezi, but it isn't. It's very, very easy. And it's really so simple to use. I'm going to show you now how to do it.